Hello everyone. Good evening. Amar is here from ExcelR. So today we have our new trainer, Mr. Rahul Ramesh with us. Sir, warm welcome to the session and hand over to you.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good morning, guys. Sir, good evening to everyone. So, hope you all able to hear me. Fine, yes, fine. Just give me a minute, guys.
Guys, if you have any question now, chat in chat box, okay? Don't raise hands. If you have any query, please type in chat box.
Sir, just sorry for the taking time. Just give me a couple of minutes, sir. I'm just connecting back. I'm sorry. Okay, just please 2 minutes.
So guys, be patient. There is some technical glitch at trainer end, so we'll start within a few minutes.
Okay. Hi everyone. Sorry guys. Sorry for taking up the time. So let us continue with our session today. Okay. So what I do, I will go ahead with the today. We'll start with the exception handling process, guys. But before we start up with today's session, could you please tell me if anybody has any challenges, any queries on the topics that we discussed up to now? You can let me know. I'll clarify that, guys. We will stop it now, and what I do, I will upload all the program states. Tomorrow morning, we will connect as a fresh and we continue with the class from the beginning. I'll share this section. You can use this. Here, I'll be uploading the file in another file. Tomorrow morning, we connect at 9:30 sharp. Guys, since I did not hear anything, I believe that nobody has a queries. Okay, so considering that, like I'm just going into the exception handling part, guys. Okay, so let me see what are the posts. I'm sorry, I mean, for joining little late. There is some issue. I'm sorry for that, guys. So let me take up the what is it? Which one? I mean, the exception handling part in Python. So can anyone please tell me what is exception, guys, by default? Hi, Tirna sir. Can you please make my other login as a host in the name of Rahul Ramesh? Because here I have some challenges, unable to share my screen. So I connected through other systems, sir. Could you please make me as a host? Uh, Sorry. Host, could you please?
Rahul sir, your co-host now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for all the delay, guys. So let us start with understanding the exceptions in Python, and we'll understand how do we handle the exceptions. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, let me open the new project. Guys, if you have any queries at any point of time, you can able to very well let me know. We will clarify that case. Okay, the first thing we will understand what is exception and why are we going for handling the exception. Okay, okay, so we'll do that actually. So let me create a program for exception handling. Okay, so anything that when we do the development, if we have any error, we will be able to fix that, and we will release to the changes to the production after we fixing the changes. I mean the error. But during the testing and during the time of development, we found everything works good, so without an issue. So now something when we do the development, we found that it is working, right? But after we deploy into the production, it is causing the issue. Maybe after a year or month. For example, today I made some changes. I promoted the program to the production and I started running it. It is running it. But after some times it is started failing due to the issue. But I did not make any changes for after I deployed it into the production. So that could be the exception. During the runtime, it is okay. Testing time, it is okay. Development, it is okay. But and the time that when it is running in the production after a couple of period, it is causing the issue. So what could be the challenges, guys? For example, you are trying to read the file. Every day you are trying to read the file and do the process, the data of the file. That's fine. The file comes every day and your job can able to go and read the data and process it. But as a sudden, one day the file has not received. We did not receive the file. So what will happen? We might get the error saying that file not found exception, file not found error. So this kind of things we call it as a exception, guys. Like it's not failing on every day. Yeah, during the runtime, yes. You need to check the queue in the chart only. Okay, fine, guys. Now let me do one thing. For example, I'm trying to read. I don't have any file. Let me create a file in the name of, let's say, sorry. I'll say days.txt. We'll say it's Sunday. Okay. I created this file and let me try to read the file. With open, the file name is days.txt and I read the file as a file of something. If I try to print, I run it, it might run successfully. There is no doubt. Okay, because I have the file and I'm trying to open the file for reading the data. I able to see the result is printed, whatever I have in the file. But what happened is tomorrow, next day, the file has not come. But when I try to read the file, what will happen? I know I'll get the error. So this kind of error, like during the development and testing, you did not see any issue. But later, due to some, maybe you are trying to connect to the database, maybe the database server is down one particular day, job will fail. Or the password has been expired to connect to the database, job will fail. Right? Or password has been changed, but you did not update the new password. You are trying to connect to the database with the old password, connection will fail. So something, this kind of error, it is not a syntax error. If it is a syntax error, it might get failed during the development or testing itself. But runtime alone, if there is any issue, then we have to handle it with the help of the exception, guys. So what is that, Ravi, Kiran? You have any queries to me? Are you all able to view my screen, guys, everyone? With open is a built-in function, guys. Actually, may I know, did we all cover the file operations or not done it, guys, for all of you? Is the file operation completed or not done it? So when we open the file for read or write or append or read and write or write and read any operation, we have to open the file with the help of with open and the name of the file and the mode in which you want to open the mode. If you want to open the file in the read mode, we don't want to explicitly specify as R. It automatically considers a read mode. In case if you want to open the file for write or append mode, we have to specify the mode. Okay. Screen is not visible. Okay, I'm wondering this. Let me stop and reshare it. Please confirm, guys, if you are able to view my screen. Parashray and Bhavya. Yeah, it is visible. Thanks, guys. So now, what happened when I was doing the development, the job has run successfully because file was there. But after sometimes the file is not there, then job will fail. In that scenario, what happened is we have to keep the program, that part of the program in the try and except block. Try and except, guys. Keep the program inside the try. And if it is failing, it will throw the exception that can be received with the help of the except. I'll do that. Now, say, let me replace the file called, let's say, days.txt. I'll put only Friday and Saturday, Sundays. Okay, try to run the program. It is going to run successfully. I will get the data printed. So it is getting printed. But on one day, the file has been removed or the file has not come from the upstreams or the other application. But still my program, when I start running my program, it will try to read the file in the name of this.txt. I'll get the error. So nothing to print because it might throw the exception, guys. Why did not I get the error? I placed them in the try block. But let me comment that. I'll show the error that I'm going to get. We'll get the error when we try to read the file, it's not exist. So we got the file not found. So we get the error. So to avoid this error, what we need to do, if you think that any part of the code that may throw the exception, we have to keep inside the try except. See, there are 4 classes we have it, guys. What are those? Let me write. One is try, except, else, finally. We'll discuss all of them. Try means any code that may throw the exception in the later point of time. We have to keep them inside the try. Right? We need to keep them in the try block. If it is running successfully, well and good, you will not get any error. Otherwise, we'll get the error, but the error will not be printed. See, if it is a error, what happened? Your program will be terminated. Right? If there is a error in your program, it will be terminated abruptly. Then we cannot do anything. Right? In write mode, voice or the data will be deleted. So I'll discuss that, Ravi. Kiran, give me some couple of minutes. Okay. Okay, guys. So now I did not keep it as a standalone code. I placed inside the try block. If the file is not there, I will get the error. Exception. What exception that you will get this? Since you are trying to read the file, if the file is not there, you will get the file not found error. Let's say except file not found error as you can write as say something E exception or something. Then you can write print something, whatever you want to do, you can write. Okay. So file not file issue something. Then I'll print what is the error I'm going to get from the system. Now if I run the code, see when I run the code, it is thrown the error like this in the red color and it is a error. But I placed the program inside the try block. If the data is not there, it will be thrown the exception that will be handled and it will print successfully. I will not get any red color text as a error, guys. It says, okay, it is thrown the error because file is not there. It says file issue, no such a file or directory in the name of days.txt. Let's create the file once again. Days.txt. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Now if I run this, I will not get the exception. The file is there, no exception will be thrown. I'm able to read the file. Now if I run the some next line of the program, I'll say the file has been read. I mean the file operation, or let's say this is next line in my program. Post file read operation. The file operation, let's say. Now, if I run this, obviously there is no exception. You will get the data printed and the next line also printed successfully. Well, if there is any exception, let's say you are trying to read the file which is not exist. I named the file as days, but there is no file in the name of days. So I'll get the exception. But if there is an exception, your program will not be terminated. Your program will continue to run because you have handled it with the help of try and except block. So it will not stop there. If there is a error, you will get the exception. At same time, your program will continue to run. You see, it printed the next lines of program. But if you have not handled the exceptions, you know what happened? Let's say I'm not keeping in the try and else block. I'll comment them in all in one shot. Now I'll write as a standalone code, try to read the file. Since the file is not there, it will throw the error, it will stop there itself, it will not come to the next line for execution because there is an error in my program. See, it's thrown the error. This is the next line in my program. Post file operation is not printed because whenever your program is getting the error, or I mean, your program will be failed there itself. It will be terminated the execution. It will not continue to run the execution. But if you handle it as an exception, you can continue to execute the program. Fine. Okay. So hope it is clear now, up to now. Now the couple of questions that came in the chart. How many except statement can a try block can have? Any number we can have it. There is no limitation list. You can have 5, 10, 20, 100, but we ideally we don't write 5, 10, 20, 100 and all. We'll write up to 5 or 3 to 5 like this we'll write, but there is no limitation list. I'll show that. In write mode, why the data will get deleted? Obviously, when you open the file in the write mode, the existing data will be removed. Whatever the data we are going to write, only that data will be there. Right? That is how the write mode works. For that reason only, we have another mode called append mode. If you don't want to get the old data deleted, you want to retain the old data and continue to write as additional data, then we go for the append mode in the file operation list. Hope that is clear. That is how write mode works in the Python program or any technology, guys, Java, Perl, Python, .NET, C, C++. When you open the file in the write mode, file content will be deleted. So that we have another mode called append mode. Fine, guys. So coming to this, when I'm not keeping the program in the try block, if it is throwing the error, it is thrown the error, my program is terminated there itself. Next line is not running. But if I keep them as a try and exit block, if the program throws error or exception, it will be handled by this exit block and the program will continue to run. It will not stop there itself. Because it is known exception. I know that I am expecting the file not found error. If the file not found error, what I want to do, I given here and it will continue to run the next line. Okay. So let's see you have the file. Now, what you are going to do, you are going to perform some addition operation, guys. Let's say the result is equal to, say 5 plus 6 you want to sum. 6 I mentioned like this. Can we perform this addition operation? No. Because it is integer, this is a string. We cannot perform the integer and string. Definitely we cannot do. Right? We can put the plus between the integer, that will be the addition, plus between the string, that is a concatenation. Okay. So like I cannot perform the plus between the 5 and the 6, I mean integer and the string. So what will happen? Wherever I will be getting this, I will be getting the this error, guys. What is that? Type error. I mean type error. Now let's run this. We'll get the type error. Now we will not get the file not found error or file not found exception. We'll get the type error. But do I have the except block for the handling the type error? No. I have my program which takes if there is a file not found error. If the file is not there, it will throw the file not found error. Only that I can take. Now I'm not going to get the file not found error. I'm going to get the type error. But let's see, can I handle it or not? No, you will get the error because we cannot perform the operation between 5 and 6. Okay. See, you got the type error on the book. It says type error, unsupported operand between integer and string. It is error actually. That's why you did not get the next line printed. What is the next line? This is the next line in my program. It's not printed. Okay. Now, what we want to do is, we'll do one thing is, I'm going to write the exception. I said to receive the type error because it is throwing the type error. I'll say the except. I'm expecting the type error. As let's say E and say print. I mean unsupported operand or something else. Say type error received. And what are the error you are getting? Let's run this. Now, if I run this, you will not get the error, this kind of red color. You get the data printed and you get the type error received and your program continue to run because you have handled it very well by writing the proper Excel block. Okay, fine guys. Now, what I want to do, let's say this is also good. I mean, there is no issue. Then I can print. Let's say sum of 5 and 6 is. You are going to run everything successful. There is no error. Your program is clean and neat. It is getting printed successfully. Okay, guys. Now what you can do, why we use E? E is just alias name, guys. So you are getting this error. Instead of taking this with this name, I'm just taking in the short as E. Right? I can very well use it in the short. It can be E or X or Y or anything. That is not an issue. But I'm just exception. We generally read it as in the name of E. See, some practices, you know, whatever the practices that is being globally used by every Python developer, we also follow the same. Because I can give X here, we don't give the X guys because that looks like different programming, right? Everybody who are working in the Python exception, they will keep E because exception shortened they name as E, we use that. It can be any name, but we follow what everyone does. I mean, everyone follows this. Fine then. Now what I'm going to do, see, I'm going to like do one thing. I will write some other program, some other error I may get. Let's say file operation. Okay, I'm trying to print first element in my list. List is, let's say employee or else let's say data of 0. But I don't have the list in the name of data. But if I have the list in the name of data, it will work. But you will get the error now because you handle the file not found exception. You are expecting untyped exception, but this is going to give the new exception because you are trying to read the list of 0, whereas the list itself not there. You will get the error. I'll come to money. Just give me a minute. Now, if I run this, you will get the different error. It says a name error. Name data is not defined. So, but if I have something like data is equal to, let's write a list of technology, Python, on say Spark, say machine learning, something I write the list. Now, if I try to print the first element, it is saying first element is Python. But suppose if the list is not there, you will get the error, but you are not handling the name error. But there is no exception block, except block for name error. What happened? It will print the name error. But okay, like whatever the error that you may expect, you can write the exception block for all of them. But tomorrow, if you are going to get the new exception, just a minute, guys. There is a lot of noise. So tomorrow you may get the new exception unusually. How do you write the except block? You can write a general exception. General exception is exception. I can say print new exception, something I'm writing it. I'll print the E, whatever is I'm getting it from the system. Now if I run this, it is saying that new exception, the name data is not defined. I'm trying to read the value from the data. The data itself not defined, so I got the new exception. Fine, guys. So now the question that is posted by Money is, what is the actual usage of this exception handling operation? If you know the code will give an error, why we have to write it? And again, why do we write the code to correct it? Okay, Mani, I told you very well. You are trying to connect to the database, right? The database connection is made successfully, no issue at all. One day the database server may down, but still by the time if you try to access through your program, you will get the error. Unless you write the proper exception handling process, your program cannot continue with the further process. Your program will be stopped there itself. See, that is not the known error. It may be a error in the future. Possibly it may be the error. So you are receiving the file from the some other team every day on the particular location. You are trying to read the file daily basis through your program. One day the team has not sent the file. But still if your program try to read the file from there, it will fail because file is not found. You have to write in the exception. When the file is keep coming, it's okay. It will run continuously without an issue. As a sudden, if the file has not come, but your program is trying to read the file, it will fail because the file is not present. All right. So something like, see, for example, lot of scenarios is. So one scenario I'm going to tell you for the case, what you do, you are asking user to enter the age. Let's say I put age is equal to integer of input of enter your age. Right. Now, if I'm going to say, I'm going to say age plus equal to 1. I'm performing plus 1 with age. I'm printing. Yes, I'm printing. Your age is this. Age by next year, let's say. Because I'm performing plus 1. Is I want to print the age. Now, what I'm going to do, in my program, I return the one general exception. I don't keep the general exception. Let's see, I have only file not found and type error. And this also I'll comment this. Now, if I run the program, somebody says, okay, it's running and it will ask enter your age. I say age is 37. It says next year age is 38. Again, run the program. Some other user comes, hey, my age is 25. Somebody says, okay, 26 next year. It runs successfully. Do you see any error here, Money? Somebody says my age is say 55. Do you see any error? No error. Program runs successfully. But it comes to me. I will not give the age. I am very happy to say my age is 37. I want to type like this. I'm typing like this and hitting the enter. Program fails. Why? Because whatever the age is being given by the user, you are performing plus 1 on top of that. But user is given the age 37 as like this. Do you expect the user to give the age like this? No. But if user is given like this, your program will fail. You have not written the right program that can handle any sort of scenarios. Right? So we have to write the quality code that should be useful to, but it should be handle any sort of scenario. Okay. Right, that's the reason. Anything that may be a error in the future, we have to keep in the try block. If it is not throwing any exception, it will run successfully as usual. If it is throwing the error due to the file is not there, due to the user is giving incorrect data or something, it is not present, then by the time your program will be saved without throwing an error. So now, if I write the exception block, general exception, if I enable it, I have the exception. This general exception will handle all sort of exception guys. Now, if I run this, I will not get this kind of error. Let's say my age, I am saying 37. I did not get the error. It continued to run. It is handled by the exception, a invalid literal integer. You are giving 37. It cannot be converted to integer. So, okay, right. It is handle the exception and continue to run it. But if it is not you are not keeping in the exception block, you will get the error like this. Any known error, it can be handled advanced, but any unknown things, you have to handle like this. Okay, fine guys. So any queries on this, guys? How do you handle the exception? Is it clear or do you have any queries? The exception is something during the runtime we'll get the errors. Okay. Okay. So you can confirm if it is clear in the chart, or if it is not clear, you can let me know. I will repeat that. But there is some question, guys, that might not be able to answer that. I don't know like why I'm getting that. What is exception handling? Why do we use it? I can't understand what you are saying. That is, I think you joined in the middle, or I request you to watch the recording, guys, whatever we discussed. Right? If see exception we said couple of times. Anything that is a syntax error, we can very well handle it during the development phase itself. But it is not an error during the development, during the testing, it is not an error. It is not the issue. And you deployed the job in the production, it is running for 10 years, it is running successfully. As a sudden, it is failing today because every times the file used to come and you run the job will run and read the file content and process it and run successfully. Today, the file has not come. Your job is ready to run at 10 o'clock every day, but the file will come at 9 o'clock. But today, the file has not come even at 10 o'clock. And when your job is running, it will be failing due to the file is not exist. But the whole 10 year, it was not failing. But today, it is failing because the file has not come. So you have to write such scenario. It may be an issue in the future. If that is a scenario, you have to write inside the try block. So if you write anything within the try block, if there is any issue that will be thrown as exception, you can write the appropriate except block to handle that exception. Right. So you may, because your program has file operation, so you may expect the file not found error. Your program has some addition operation, so you may get the type error. Or if any other error comes, you want to handle everything, you can write as a general exception. So you can write the appropriate exception. If when you get the file not found error, it checks whether do you have the block for the file not found error. If yes, it will run. If I do not have the file not found error exception, it will be collected by general exception. General exception is the one which collects everything. If you don't have the appropriate exception block, finally everything will be handled by the general exception. If you are not collecting as exception, your program fails there itself. You cannot continue to run your program. But if you handle that as an exception, so now I'm getting the exception because I'm given the age as 37. It is unable to convert as an integer. It fails there itself. But still my program, since I handled in the exception, my program is continued to running it. It is able to print the next line of my program. If you are not handling as an exception, anytime in future, if a program facing the issue, job will be failed, nothing will be moved. Then what you need to do? We have to raise a change request. We have to do the development, do the testing, go for the CR approval and the unit test approval. And you have to go for the promotion approval. I mean, to send from development to production. It will take minimum 15 days of time or 10 days of time in the IT industries. But until then, you cannot run your job. It will be in failed state only. Right? To avoid such a delay, if we handle as exception, the job will not fail, it will continue to run. So there is a lot of benefit on the exception. Okay. Is it clear now or still you have any issue or Shiva about what is exception? Why do we use exception? Why do I need to write a code? Shiva and Mani, both of you, can you please confirm? Like, is it clear or do you have still any queries on this? I don't understand, Shiva. Still you are not clear? I mean, what is that? No indicates still not clear, or is it clear? We'll come to it. Just give me 5 to 10 minutes. We'll come to how do you throw our own exception. Okay, so fine guys. I think it is very difficult, Siva. We will connect separately. I mean, if it is still not clear, something we need to understand what is the level of knowledge you have on understanding the program. That should be clarified. After that, we will able to make you to understand this program concepts. We will try to connect. I will possibly will connect with you separately. Okay. Which use Python version, please? Python version can be any 3.x case. For example, any 3.x version we can use it. But currently, I think I'm using 3.8. 3.8.10 is what I'm using it. But the latest version, I think 3.11 or 10 or something 11. But no worries. We don't want to go for the very latest version. That may be a bug, right? I mean, see, if I say Python download, it's a latest version is 3.8.10. But 3.10.8, sorry. But I'm using 3.8. Very latest version we should not use because it might have been released now. Lot of error might come. We should not use the very latest because error will be fixed on day by day only, right? So as soon as it is released, if you try to use that, you will get a lot of error. So try to use something stable version. 3.10.8 is the stable version that I'm using that. If you ask me when this 3.10 is released, 3.10.8, it might say the date. Let's see when it was released. Or September 3.9 itself, October only, guys. 3.10 might have been released yesterday or day before yesterday, like this. You should not use the very latest version. Fine, guys. So now, if you think that any code, like it may throw the error, keep it in the try block and write the appropriate except block and handle it, collect it, and do whatever the action you do so that your program will continue to run. If you are not handling it as within the try and except, your program will be failed there itself if there is an issue. Right. Right. Now, what I want to do is, let me write, how do I handle the exception during, how do I throw my own exception? See, system will throw the exception if there is any issue, guys. See, when you try to read the file is not there, you get the exception. Or when you try to sum up the integer and string, which is not valid, so you get the exception. When you try to convert the string to integer, it is not possible, you get the exception. But you will not get the exception for all the times. I mean, if there is any systematic issue, that should be okay, guys. For example, what I'm saying is, you are asking user to enter the age, right? Let's say user is giving the age as, my age is 766. It will not throw the error. It says your age by next year is 767. I gave 766. It put +1 and it becomes 767. But that system knows age cannot be 766. Nobody can live up to 766. System will not understand this. System will not throw error in this kind of scenarios. During this scenario, we have to throw the exception if it is invalid age. So what I'm going to say before I perform the addition, I'm going to say if the age is less than 0. Somebody says my age is -5. How come age can be in the minus? It's invalid age. Or age is greater than 100. Let's say I'm accepting the age between 0 to 100, it is valid age. If it is negative, that is invalid age. If somebody says my age is 120 or 300, 700, invalid age. During that time, I'm going to throw the exception on my own. System will not throw the exception. I'm going to say if the age is less than 0 or greater than 100, rise is the keyword to throw the exception case. Rise, let's say value error. There are a lot of exception exist. I can use that. Let's say value error and give the message that you want to pass. Age cannot be, or I can say age should be in between 0 to 100. Anything less than 0 or greater than 0 is not valid. Right? You are throwing it. Now, if I run this program, earlier when I passed 766, it summed up by 1. It says, hey, your next year, your age is 767. Now, if I pass my age, 766, it says exception A. Age should be in between 0 to 100. Let's rerun it. I pass age is -5. Invalid age. It should says age should be between 0 to 100. Now, if I pass age is 37, it runs successfully. It says your age next year is 38 and it runs successfully. So I handled my program to throw the exception if it is if age is less than 0 or greater than 100. So you can change the, you can say in China, people are living up to 130, 130, 150. You can change it. That's all up to you. But anything after that you don't want to accept, you can rise is the keyword which is used to throw the exception. Right? Rise and what is the exception you want to throw, and you can do that. Right? You can send the messages. What is the error exception messages you want to send? You can keep within the this exception and it will be collected. See, it is collected by the general exception case. Since you are throwing the value error, you can write the value error exception also. You can say age issue. Since when you throw the value error, when you sum up the age, right, you will say age issue. And whatever the error message you get, you print it. Now, I am throwing the value error. I am written the value error block. Only this will be running now, not the general exception. General exception will run only when there is no corresponding exception available. Now, if I run, I say my age is -6. It says age issue. Age should be in between 0 to 100. Let me rerun. I say my age is 200. Age should be 0 to 100. 200 is invalid age. So like that, you have to handle the case. So this is possible if you write with the help of exception handling in Python. So any part of code that you may think that it may be throwing the error, try to keep it in the try block. If it is causing the issue, it will be thrown as an exception. And if you have the corresponding except block written, that except block will run. And after that, the program will continue to run. If you do not have the try and except block, if they throwing the error, it will stop there itself. Program will be failed there itself. Your program will be terminated and job will be failed. Unless you are handling as a exception block, you cannot continue to run the program and you have to fix that issue and only you can able to continue to run. Okay. Okay. So what I do, guys, I will share this code to all of you. But we discussed up to this, try and accept. What is else and finally we'll discuss that. I'll share the code to all of you in the code share link. I would request everyone to see the code and practice the code and confirm if it is clear. So you can copy it, guys. When I share this link, you can, when you click on the link, you will be able to get the file data. You will be able to get into this. You can copy and paste and run it at your end. And you can confirm if you have any queries, you can let me know. After your confirmation, I will explain about else and finally in the Python exception. I have shared the link to everyone, guys. I mean, it's somebody removed it. Don't do that, guys. If anybody did by mistake and Control X, just try to do undo that. See, otherwise, it is a common platform. Everybody should take the data from here. See, no, don't do anything. This I'll keep the data again. Please take it from here. If anybody made a mistake, undo the changes. See, somebody is deleted. Don't do that, guys, and keep it properly. Yes, copy it, guys. And please confirm once it is done. You don't edit anything here, guys. Why are you doing that? I don't know who is doing that. So what I do, I'll copy and paste the code in the chart. Take it from the chart window, guys. Nobody can delete it. Don't play with this code share screen, guys. It should be shared by everyone. I mean, accessed by everyone. It's not only for you. It is for everyone. You can only copy it. You cannot edit. You cannot remove. You cannot do anything else. So it will be tracked that who is doing all this, right? Who is editing it, who is modifying it, will get the report because it is a paid version that I have logged in with my name. So I'll get the report who is deleting, then you'll get the mail that asking why did you delete it. Don't do that, guys, hereafter. You can only copy. You are not allowed to delete it. I see a couple of you have raised the hand, guys. Anjali, Shabana, and Swapnil, and Harshada, and Mushkan, and Viresh. Let me know if you have any queries, guys. Do you want to unmute you, all of you? You can let me know. I can unmute you. You can ping me in the chat, guys. If anybody want to talk, if you have any queries, let me know your name. I'll unmute you. Okay. So guys, shall we move further with the next part? Like in the except block, we have the else and finally. We know what is try and we know what is except. We can write any number of except. The else is one. When the else block will run is when there is no exception, else will run. If there is an exception, else will not run. That is what the else case. If there is no exception, else will run. If exception runs, else will not run. Let's say print no exception. Something I'm writing, hence execute. I mean printed from no exception, hence else has run. Let's say I'm writing it like this. Now my program will not throw exception. To make it more readable, guys, what I do, I'll put only one day, otherwise it take lot of lines, right? So unable to, I'll put only Sunday. Now if I write my post, see able to see Sunday is printed. Okay, sum of 5 plus 6, 17. And when I see enter the age 37, it says your age is next year is 38. And it printed from the else block because there is no exception. It printed not exception or no exception. Hence else has run. So because of no exception, else has run. Else run because there is no error. And this is the next line in the program. Now if I run this, and let's say my age is -1. Now it is an exception. So age issue has run. So because of there is an exception, this else did not run. Else will run only when there is no exception. If there is an exception, else will not run. Right. Now, the last one is finally, guys. Finally will run all the times, irrespective of the exception, whether there is a error or not, whether there is exception or not, finally will run for all the case. Let's print. Finally, executed, let's say. I'm writing here to make sure that you will be able to understand. Now I'm going to run the code without an error. Sorry guys, something is corrupted. Going to run without an error. Let's say age is something 50. It runs successfully. Else block run because no exception. Finally also run. And this is the next line. When there is no error, else run. Finally will run. Let's throw the exception. Age I say 110 or 1000. Now I got the exception. Age issue is the exception. So else did not run, but finally has run. Finally will run irrespective of whether there is exception or not, guys. No matter whether there is exception or not, finally will run. Okay. So we are able to handle it. Right. Finally will run. So when see ideally, guys, in the development phase, we can say we don't use this at all. We really don't want to use else and finally. But we have to use try and except. So why do we need the finally in the other technology is, suppose when you try to read the data from a file, you open the file, but there is an issue in the file. So you have to close it before you come out of the program. The file object can be closed in the finally. Are you connected to the database? You are trying to update the data, but data is not there. It will throw the exception, but you have to close the database connections, right? That will be handled in the finally block in other technology like Java and all. But here we don't want to do that. Everything will be closed automatically. We don't want to manually do that. So else and finally is not needed. We need to learn about more about try block and except block. Whatever the things that you expect that could be an issue, you can keep it in the except block. And if you don't know what kind of exception that you get, you can write the general exception at the end. It should be only at the end. It cannot be in the beginning or in the middle. If it is in the beginning, you know what will happen. If I take it in the beginning, guys, I'll take it in the beginning. Now I'm trying to make as a file not found error. I'll keep the file as something like this. There is no file in the name of days like this. It will throw the file not found error. But since the general exception is there at the first, only this will get executed. It will come. So because of it is there on the top, whatever the exception that comes, everything will be handled by the general exception. Right. So I should not have it on the top. Now if I run this, obviously it is file not found error only, but you know, it collected by general exception saying new exception and printed no such a file or directory. It will not come to the file not found. It goes step by step. What it check? Is that the exception? If not, then it will come. Is that exception it received? If not, it will come step by step only it comes, guys. So we have to keep at the bottom because it has to run only at the end if there is no corresponding exception block available. Now if I run this after keeping the bottom, I'm not changing anything. Now if I run the program, I'll see file issue. Now it is running from the file not found exceptions. File issue. So the general exception block should be only there in the bottom. It cannot be in the up or in the middle or anywhere. It should be only at the last. So if there are a couple of things we need to know. Else and exception. See the difference between the else and exception question. Else will run when there is no exception. If there is an exception, else will not run. It is not like something same. If no exception, else block, whatever operation you do, it will be executed. If there is an exception, the else will not run. Right, but ideally, as I said, finally and else we don't want to use at all. You can ignore that. But just for your understanding, I said what is else and finally, and when it will get executed. But literally, we don't use it in the program development guys. We write only try and except. Fine. Is clear, Gaurav, or any queries on this? Else will run if say like how if else guys. If condition is false, it will come to the else. Otherwise, if will get executed, right? Similar way, if the exception is there, exception will run, else will not run. When there is no exception, else will run. That's how it is. Okay. Yes, but that's not needed. Now I want you guys to write a code having this knowledge. I will copy and paste this in the same link, guys. Please, one request to all of you, don't change it. Can I have the Zoom link? Okay, I think it's not for me. Fine, guys. Now, what is the questions to all of you is here when I get the age, when I enter as a 37, I get the error, right? But how do you mitigate that error? How do you avoid the error? Like what I'm going to say, write a code to check age type. If it is valid age, then as casting to age to integer and assign to age variables. Can you perform this operation? How do you do that? So I know input function will return as a string only. Whatever the value that we are getting, it will be written as a string. But before you casting as a integer, what I want to check, you want to check whether user is passed integer only or string they have passed. If they have passed the string, you cannot typecast as integer. You have to throw the exception. If they passed as a integer value, then you can cast as a integer and assign to the age variable. How do you do that, guys? I'll copy and paste in the chart to all of you. You can write a code and share with me, guys. How can you do this? I shared in the chart to everyone, guys. Please write the code for this and share me. I'll wait for a couple of minutes. Okay, guys. So I say n range of 1 to 100. Print your age. Please give the proper age. Okay. Okay, sir. So let me write the code that what is asked is write a code to check. What do you want to do? You can get the age as it is without, because when you try to convert as an integer, you get the error. Don't convert it. Now you can say age will be string, right? You can say if age is number, is numeric. The value is there in the age. If it is a numeric, then you can try to assign integer of age. Else, you can say rise type errors. Age should be a number and not a string. Now I have given it. See, for example, I'll tell you guys. If I say, let's say age is equal to, I am going to say as 100. It is a integer, right? Now if I say type of age, that will be the integer. But you know what I'm going to do? If user is giving age is equal to 100 like this within the string, it is a string. But the value is present inside the age is a number. To check whether the value is present inside the string is a number or not, I can check age is numeric. I'm going to say age is numeric. If it is a number, it will say true. Yes, hey, age is within quotes 100, but it is a number only. So it is true. Then if it is a number, user passed a number, then what I can do? I can typecast as a integer and assign to the age. If not a number, if not a numerical value, I am saying that a should be a number. Now let me run this code. I'm going to say no such a file or directory. Exception there itself comes. I'll make it as a valid code so that we'll understand about the age condition we written. Now coming down, I'm asking user to enter the age. Now I give age is 37. Then it will take 37. It check is numeric, yes. Then it will assign as integer. That integer can be checked whether it is less than 0, greater than 150. Then it can print it like accordingly. Now there is no exception. It says your age next year. I missed it, right? Your age. Your age next year is 38 and no exception. Else has run because there is no exception. Finally also run. Next line of the code also run. Now if I run this, I run 37 like this. Now it checks whether is it a numeric value you collected from the user. Is it the numeric value? No. Then it will throw the error. It will say A should be a number, not a string. It says A should be a number, not a string. Right. Like that, you have to handle the program in the different ways. Yes. This is the updated code. This is what I want you to try, but no problem. This is the updated code. Please check the code and confirm if it is clear, guys. If you have any queries, you can let me know. I'll explain it. Okay, so I shared this code, guys. Please try to understand the code and let me know if it is clear to everyone. Or if you have any queries, you can let me know this. Guys, there is an attendance link that is shared in the chat. I request you to make your attendance, guys, everyone, so that we can able to know like who are attended the class, who did not attend the class. try to attend the class. I mean, fill the form. It's a feedback form, guys, right? You can able to see all of them. Please spend only 2 minutes of time, then you can fill it, guys. It has been shared in the chat. You can take it. But before that, practices this code exception and let me know if it is clear, or if you have any queries up to now, whatever is been discussed, you can let me know the queries, guys. I will help you to solve that, understand the queries. If you have any queries, you can let me know the name, you can unmute, or you can type in the chat, I can explain you. So the next thing what we are going to see is share the code written in the class over the LMS for proper records. Could you share the code written in class over the LMS for proper records? Okay, sure, sure. Yes. After raising the error in try block, why it is again running the exit block? After raising the error in try block, anything that has been thrown in the error, guys, it will be handled by the exception only. Whatever the things that is coming out of the try as a error, immediately the corresponding except block will be running that. If try block code is throwing any issue, that will be collected by the except block. That is why try and except runs together. If there is exception thrown by try, it will be collected by the except block. Okay. The code, I mean age code, right? What I have did is I'm just without knowing whether user is giving the number or the string. If I try to typecast here itself, I'll get the error because when they give the age is 37 as an English character, I might not be able to convert as an integer and assign to the variable. It is throwing the error. So to avoid that, what I'm doing is, whatever the value is user is passing, I'm taking as it is written as a string. Okay. But the string is numeric means what are the value is there in the string? Is it a number? If yes, then I'm converting that number, I mean strings of number to the integer value and assigning to that. Or let's say that's what I explained, right? Let's say age is equal to input of, let's say age. I'm getting the age from the user. It's asking age. Say, let's say my age is 100 like this. Now if I check, age is numeric. Age if I print, it is a string. Age is numeric if I say, it will say false. It is not numeric. Inside the string, you have a string only. So if it is false, then I will not try to convert as a integer. But now if I run this, sorry, now if I run it, I am saying age is 100. But let me print age, it's a string only because input will return our string only. Type of age also string only. But what I'm going to check is, hey, the age string, do you have an integer value? Inside the value is a number. I can check is numeric. Age is numeric. It will say true. Yes. Yes. Earlier it says false because it was not a string, not a number. Now it is a true because it is a number. It says age 100 is a number. So it is a true. Now I can say age is equal to integer of age. I'm convert the age as an integer and assign to this age. Now if I check the type of age, it is not a string, it become an integer because I can able to convert this value as integer because it is integer. So I can do that. So but without knowing whether user is giving the number or a string, if I try to cast to an integer, I'll get the error. So that I'm just checking whether it is a number. If number, I'm doing the typecasting. If not, I'm throwing the error saying that age should be the number, not the numerical or string value. That's what I try to do that case. Okay. So is it clear? I mean, for example, who asked this Gaurav? Is it clear or you have any queries? Why did I do this way? Is it clear? How, I mean, if you have any queries, let me know. Yes. Fine. Thanks. So any other queries? please let me know, guys. Like, if see, so there is a question, right? Hey, when I try to open the file in the write mode, why it is removing all the content? Yes, that is how it should be. If you open the file in the write mode, the existing content of the file will be removed. Right, whatever we write, only that will be there in the file. But if you write the file in the append mode, the existing file content will be there. You can write the new lines as additional lines. But write mode means the old content will be removed, guys. That is the difference between write mode and append mode in file operations. Any other queries you have, please let me know, guys. And in the next class, we are going to discuss very important concept called object-oriented programming language. Where we'll be discussing about what is class, what is object. All of them will be discussed, guys. Very importantly, what is class, what is object, what is the attribute, what is the method, and different types of method. Like we have a instance method or abstract, instance method or object method or class method or static method. And we'll discuss about mainly constructor, and we'll discuss about the special type of methods, such as uh, dunder method. Dunder method. Not only that, guys, we'll discuss content management, dunder method, and we'll discuss about duck typing and monkey patching. These are something very interesting to know, guys. And we'll discuss about abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation. Right. We'll discuss all of them, which is very, very important. Without this, we cannot say we are a Python developer. This ASCII code like age is by changing the character to ordinary, you don't explain the binary files. Okay, I'll come to that, Ravi. What is that? Okay. Sounds interesting, eagerly waiting. Yes, yes, obviously, guys. Next class is very much important because we are going to discuss the OOPS concept. It's very, very important. We'll discuss that, guys. We covered read write the text file only. Could you please tell how do you do the that for PDF and doc files? Okay, fine, guys. How do you do it? Read the PDF file and all. Let me show you that. We'll discuss that in the upcoming class. Let's say import pandas. There is a library called pandas, which is not available. I'll do install it, guys. It is one of the big library. It will take a couple of seconds. Rather waiting for that, let me go to the Jupyter notebook. Where I can discuss about pandas. Say this pandas library has, see what are the things it has. It has a read CSV to read the CSV file, read Excel to read the Excel file, read HTML to read the HTML file, JSON, WARC is a optimized row and column file, Parquet file is a columnar storage file, Pickle is serialized file or compressed file like jar file. And SQL, we can run a SQL query. The output of the SQL query can be read. SQL query also can be given table XML. Like this, it has the future for everything else. Right. So like this pandas library can be used to read all the special type of file. The question is, the question is, hey, how do I read the PDF file? There is a way to read the PDF file, guys. That and all we'll cover one by one. But how do I read the PDF file is, we need the appropriate library that should be imported. The thing is that, guys, where there is a function called PyPDF is the library. Let me import it. Pip install. It will not be available automatically. PyPDF2. We'll see how do you handle the special type of program. All we'll definitely discuss that way. This PyPDF file can be used to read. Say install, right? Let me see whether if I have any PDF file. Since you guys asked, I'll show you that. New agreement, big data end-to-end PDF. Let's say I'll copy the path. I'll try to read the file and show you that. First, I'll open the file and show you what I have it. It is having some big data content, guys. Or big data, something is there. Let me try to show you that file. Import PyPDF to library. Let it import it. It says I just PyPDF to I just installed it. You need to restart the kernel. Okay, I'll stop it. I'll go to the kernel, restart the kernel. Now try to import. No module. Why so? I just imported it, install it. Restart the kernel to use updated package. I'll say restart and run now. No. If I do that, then again it will try to run the pip install. I'll comment this. Then I say restart and run now. No module by why so Python PDF2. Let me install once again. It should say already exist. Say requirement already set. Okay. What I do, guys, I'll open the new things. See whether it works. Import PyPDF2. Okay, I installed it, but still it is not working. No worries, guys. So this is the library where we can open the PDF file by using this library and can able to print the data. All of them, it is possible, guys. But you know what we do? Does it need for anything? Let's see. I'll go here to the settings, project, Python interpreter, on settings, and I go to the plus. I look for PyPDF2 library. I'm going to install this library using this. Let it come, guys. Once it is installed, it says installed successfully. So now it is installed successfully. I'll close it. I'll say okay. And import PyPDF2. Let's see whether it's running successfully or not. No module. I think it has some dependency, guys. Let's see what are the dependency. I know there is one PI file. Let's say pip install. Fine. We will import this library. Maybe after we complete the oops, right? By the time we'll discuss that. Maybe if you Google it, you'll get to know more idea because I know like I worked it in one of the project. Let's say Python 5 PDF2 is the library that is available, right? See here. So 5 PDF2, this is what I did. Let's see some example guys. See what they are doing it here. See, they are importing the PDF2 library as a PDF file reader. With that, when they are opening the PDF file, they are trying to read this PDF file, they'll be able to do. Only thing we need the library, guys. No worries, that we'll discuss it after we complete the oops. Now, we need pandas to, yes, pandas will be used very much, guys, for most of them. How are you integrated our command with the Jupyter Notebook? See, Jupyter Notebook, right? I installed in the command line. So I'm opening in the command line itself, please. See, if you have not installed the Jupyter Notebook, you can let me know. I'll tell you how to do that. Maybe in the upcoming session. Okay. So we can say, so you can run only one thing is if anybody who have not installed the Jupyter Notebook, you can say pip install notebook. That's it. Your Jupyter Notebook will be installed. For me, it might say it's already requirement already satisfied because I have already, it says requirement already satisfied. Fine. When you run pip install notebook, it will be installed on your system. If you have already notebook, guys, no worries. Otherwise, we can able to install it. Okay, now it is open forum to discuss any sort of question, guys. You can let me know. We'll discuss that. Tomorrow, I mean, the next class on Monday, we'll start with object-oriented programming. We'll clearly understand. The object-oriented programming in Python is very, very easy, guys. If you are from Java background or any other technology like .NET or C++ or Perl or Python, Perl, you will see there are some additional knowledge we need. Is it similar to, no, it is not similar to C++. Conceptually, it is similar to C++ or Java, but it is very easy, guys, very much easy. Right? We don't want to learn a lot of syntax, lot of concepts. It's straightforward, very simple. Like the next 2 days is what we are going to learn that is complete end-to-end object-oriented programming. It will be much easier and much simpler. You'll be surprised, okay, it's very easy than other technologies. That is the reason Python is been more popular technologies. And every company, they started using Python because it can be easily read and understand and easily it can be worked, right? Okay, that will do that because see in the market, if they want to go for picking up any technology, they will try to see how easy the technology is. Otherwise, they will not have a employee to work, right? If the technology is hard, we'll have very less employee, then we may not able to complete the project. If the technology is easy, we don't want to worry, right? If somebody says, hey, I am going out of the company, I want to go to the other company, we can say, hey, go ahead, no worries, because there are thousands of people in the market knows Python. I can easily take other people and we can start continue the project. We are not going to rely on you. If you want to go, you can very well go there. No worries. Okay, guys. The link for the feedback and attendance, I'll share it now. Kindly fill it, guys, and that's it today. And on Monday, right, we'll connect on the oops concept. We'll come continue with the session, guys. So whoever have completed, you can drop off. That's for today. And on Monday, we'll connect with oops. And if anybody have not filled the feedback form, kindly fill the feedback and it will mark as attendance also, right? And you can drop off this. Or if anybody has any queries also, you can ping me in the chat. Okay, thanks, Giridhar. We'll check that actually. See, it's not used very often. Could be an issue my side also by PDF. I'll check that, Sridhar. Thanks for the details. That's correct. Right, we have a Py PDF starting with the capital FB. Thanks, Sridhar, and for letting me know. We'll do that, guys. Yes, Saket. Rejects will cover after the OOPS concept. We'll understand how do you work with the rejects, like how do you rejects is nothing but to match these strings using this special character keys, pattern matching techniques. We have a couple of reject function available in Python like match, search, find all, substitute and replace, split and find and compile and find data, couple of things. Right, that will do it. Okay, that will do that. We'll discuss that all of them in the upcoming class. We'll try to cover end-to-end Python ways that makes you like to learn everything in Python. That will help you to understand end-to-end of Python. Okay, that's it today, guys. And thanks all for joining. And we'll connect tomorrow, and we'll continue with OOPS concept and followed by uh, the special file reading operation and regular expressions. It everything that we'll do that one by one, guys. So thank you everyone. Have a good weekend and we'll meet on Monday, guys. Thank you all. Good night to everyone. Dropping off now, guys.
Amar, can I end the session?
Yes, Divnath, you can wind up.